Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. Today we're going to do the paycheck budget for the final week of the month of May, which is a pay week for my husband and I. So I'm excited to get this last week over with because after this is my favorite thing regarding the budget, which is the start of a new month. So before we get into the budget for the week, I just wanted to put a few pictures here, a recap of what I did over the weekend. So you guys know on Friday that me and Caleb went to SeaWorld. It was so hot. My gosh, so hot in Florida right now. It's in the 90s and it's not even June yet. But we did have a good time. So here are a couple of pictures of us just at like when we first got into SeaWorld, and a picture of Caleb by a waterfall, and there were a lot of animals to see. So I enjoyed seeing like all the different kinds of sharks and rays and fish that you don't get to see on a normal basis. We have an aquarium here in St. Augustine, but it is not that great. So it was like going to the aquarium and a theme park all in one. Me and Brian worked in the garden this weekend pulling weeds, and I've been meaning to give you guys an update on how the garden is looking. So here are some pictures from the garden. We have some collard greens, and this long row here is black-eyed peas, and then we have cabbages, which I mean they're doing okay. They're not doing the best. It's not cabbage season, so I just put the seeds out there to see what they would do. But next to that we have some watermelon seeds that got, I guess, scattered there somehow because I didn't intend for watermelon to be put there, but as it started growing I was like, there's definitely watermelon here for some reason. And next to that is the tomatoes, and then over on the back side is where like all the watermelon is supposed to be. So I don't know if our seeds got mixed up and somehow we ended up like planting some watermelon in between the cabbage and the tomatoes. It wasn't supposed to be like that. But anyway, so I've got some pictures of the baby chicks here for you guys too, so you can see them. This is the older chicks. They're going to be like 4 weeks old on Tuesday. And then picture of the pool. It's looking great. The boys are in it right now as I'm recording. And a picture of some towels that I hung up to dry, trying to like line dry clothes to save electricity. This was my first attempt. Our what do you call it, like our gazebo has these arms on it, and they're supposed to have like a cloth on them that, you know, provides extra shade from the gazebo, but we don't have that. So I just put them up and used them as like bars to dry the towels that I hung up, which of course the sun did a great job of drying. The only thing that I didn't like was like how stiff the towels were after the fact. Like they felt really bad. So we don't use softener in our washing machine, but you know, in the dryer we use like those dryer sheets that reduce the static and I guess soften also. So I don't know. I don't want to have to buy softener in order to hang dry clothes and for them not to be like stiff as a board, but I definitely don't think, at least at this point, without doing something different, that I will be line drying anything else because the towels were really hard. They were really, you know, like they had starch in them or something. I don't know. So yeah, that was my weekend. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. The day you're watching this is Memorial Day, so I hope you guys had the day off and you're having a good old barbecue, having a good day, remembering the ones we've lost who gave their lives for this country. My grandfather was in the military. I'm trying to think, I think he was in the Army. Can't remember off the top of my head. I think he was in the Army, so he's the only person in my family who's ever been in the military though, so he is no longer with us. So, but he didn't die in the military. He died after he got out, but still, today is a day for remembrance for those who have served. So, all right, let's get into the budget. So, Brian and I already got our paychecks. Brian put in $2,500, which is a little more than I was expecting. Only $100 more, which made me sad. I was hoping it was going to be more than that, but it is what it is. My check was $1 more at 1501. We rolled over 104.52, and we got $24 from Cash App for egg sales. So our total income for the week is $4,129.52. All right, so for our bills this week, we're going to have our solar panels, which are $225.19, our mortgage, which is $1,840, our tuition for Carter. This is his last week of tuition for VPK, and it's $195. Our tithe for $50, or my student loan payment for $138, and our Avon credit card payment for $250. So all of that's going to add up to $2,698.19, which will bring us to our variable expenses. For groceries, we're going to try and stick to $250, cars $150, kids, this is an allowance week, so $15 for them, and then household $335, and that's to pay for the softener repair and the gutter repair. The guy did come out and seal up the gutters, so now we just have to wait for it to rain and see if it's actually fixed or not. So that's going to be a total of $750. All right, so for our sinking funds, since Brian did bring in $100 extra, we're going to go ahead and put $100 in Christmas. Sorry, I'm watching my friend's dog while she's out of town, and he's got this jingly collar on. I'll get back to this one in a second. For car insurance, we're going to do $200 for vacation, $125, and property tax $120. So I've been thinking about changing our sinking funds because, sometimes you need something and you don't have enough money in that particular fund for that thing, and you end up taking the money out of another fund just to pay for it or whatever. So I thought to myself, why do I have all of my variable sinking funds, kids, home, homestead, cars, medical, date night, clothes, all separate? And then I struggle when I have a little extra money trying to figure out which fund to put a little bit of money into. So starting in June, we're going to have a sinking fund that's called variable funds, and it's going to comprise the kids, home, homestead, cars, clothes, and date night sinking funds all into one. So if we need anything for any of those categories, we'll pull it out of that envelope, and when we want to fund that category, we'll just be putting $66 in generally to that fund. So and the only funds that will have like a sole purpose and a sole name are things like our car insurance, our property taxes, Christmas, things that are just for, those occasions, and things that we need to save for something very specific. So I'm putting the $66 here on the kids line, but I've already consolidated my sinking funds and created this new variable fund. So this $66 is going to go into that variable fund. And you guys will see that when I do my cash stuffing for this month. And I've already changed it with Ally or whatever. So that's what's going to be happening with the sinking funds going forward. All that to say, the total here is $611. And then last but not least, these sinking funds will be able to be moved up to the top in June because we won't have as many because we're taking so many away to lump into one. But the only one down here that we're going to fund this month is subscriptions for $40. I did end up canceling our, Blink subscription because I'm not happy with our Blink cameras. They seem to go offline way too much for me. They don't last long enough. And we can get footage recorded without having a cloud subscription. It just doesn't store it as long. So I've been looking at these cameras by the brand Eufy, I think it is, and they're solar powered. So they have a little solar panel attached to them, so we'll never have to change the batteries. And the storage is like a hard drive in the house with like a SD card. So we won't have to like pay for a subscription annually to keep footage. So that's what I want to get. Of course, it's going to be several $100s worth of investment for us to get those cameras. But in the meantime, I want to see how we do without having the Blink subscription. And just using the Blink cameras we have now without it until we can save up the money for the new cameras. So the money that I had in the Blink camera envelope is being moved to fully fund our Prime membership, which we will not be canceling because I love it. So $40 for subscriptions, and that's going to leave us with $30.33 worth of rollover. I'm either going to make a debt payment with this or put it into our variable sinking funds category. I'm not happy with our progress on our Navy Federal card this month. Like, all of our payment was eaten by interest, so I probably am leaning more towards making a payment just to give us some room with like our starting balance and our ending balance, because we are putting a little bit, $66 into the variable fund, but I also know we need to be saving up money because we're going to be paying for back to school soon, and we're going to be paying for, Caleb needs new glasses, like it's time for him to get his eye exam, and then the AC situation. So I don't know, so many things, so little money. But we'll see. I don't plan on rolling over any money because I am going to be doing that like $1,000 buffer from our emergency fund, like I was telling you guys about. So we won't need to like make sure we roll over any money to start the new month with. But that's going to do it for this paycheck budget. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. And I will see you on Wednesday for my cash envelope stuffing. Bye.